Hey everyone, I'm Piet, Levy, music writer for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. We are here on the last day of the last weekend of Summerfest 2025. I've assembled many great members of our Summerfest review crew. We've got Catherine Joswick, Cal Roach, Ted Lukic, Damon Joy. We're going to talk about the best of this last weekend that we saw, and also things that we haven't talked about in previous videos, best and worst from the whole festival. And we'll start with you, Damon. What's been the best thing you saw for this weekend 3?
Probably Era Star.
Yeah.
She brought this true Nigerian essence to the stage. Completely choreographed. She didn't sing over her lyrics, which was great. We haven't really seen many Afrobeats artists here, so she's among the very few and first. The audience loved her. There was a great Nigerian crowd out there too,
cool.
Along with just diversity everywhere. Just everybody you could think of. Great crowd. Everybody loved it. I thought it was just a fantastic show.
That's fantastic.
Through and through.
Yeah, I mean, Afrobeats has become so popular, and there aren't a lot of the artists from that new wave of Afrobeats that come to Milwaukee at all.
Right.
And it's so great that finally there was that here at Summerfest. We don't even really see that often at other venues in town. So hopefully this kind of opens the door, and we see more Afrobeats artists from the new wave kind of coming through town and doing shows. So it sounds like this is a great one to kick it off. Hopefully a new era.
Yeah, obviously the fan base was there, so just keep bringing them.
Yep, keep bringing it. Yeah. Ted, who brought it for weekend 3? What was your favorite band you saw?
Definitely Social Distortion.
Okay.
Mike Ness had a tonsil cancer scare a couple years ago, so just amazing to see him out there performing at such a high level. The band was tight. The crowd was really into it. If you saw the T-shirts from all the punk bands from all the years, you'd know what a source of inspiration he is for not only the other musicians, but for fans as well. Just a special night. Great mix of new and old. Supposedly they have another album coming out in 10 years. We'll see. Cool. After 10 years, sorry. We'll see.
Awesome. No, that's great. Yeah, Social Distortion always brings. It's great to see that they came back here. I remember they canceled the Harley Festival a couple years ago. Glad they're getting back out there playing Milwaukee Festival. So that's fantastic. Cal, what about for you? For weekend 3, what's the best thing you saw?
My favorite thing for sure was kind of the 1-2 punch of Bug Moment and Chap Lips over at the BMO, and you covered Bug Moment in your piece, and just a really emotional set by them. And Chap Lips came out, and they're obviously, they know each other, they're friends, and a lot of camaraderie in between there. And it was great to be able to sit under a nice shaded area, in the middle of summer, and see this sweaty punk band. I mean, it reminded me of being in a club in the 90s seeing Fugazi. They were just, they were just fantastic. So much energy, and really the most energetic, sweaty set I saw all weekend, if not the whole fest. So.
That's awesome, and delivered by Milwaukee's own. That's the thing. Summerfest always has such great Milwaukee talent. Bug Moment, Chap Lips, they're newer bands in a great emerging rock renaissance from the Milwaukee rock scene.
Absolutely.
And really, really great, and that's awesome you saw them, and glad that they got booked. Yeah. For weekend 3, I think I'll give a shout out to 2 of really great gets for the festival, and they're not necessarily artists I love, but there's Benson Boone, who was at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater July 3rd, and then July 4th you had Alex Warren, who currently has the biggest song in America with Ordinary. It's #1 on the Hot 100. This 4th week it's been #1. He played at the U.S. Cellular Connection stage and had a massive crowd, huge crowd, probably the biggest crowd on the side stages this year, I'm guessing. And again, they're not necessarily artists I really love, but they're artists that are certainly tapping into a moment. We're seeing kind of a wave of what's kind of being dubbed as worship pop. It's kind of like pop music that has some churchy feels to it. Really popular on TikTok and Instagram. Alex Warren is definitely that. He's got some folk pop to him as well. And Benson Boone also kind of dips into that as well, in addition to some Harry Styles rock stuff. But generally, I mean, Alex Warren, what helped his set too was that he's a TikTok personality, so he had a lot of good kind of self-deprecating humor that helped the set move along. And he did seem genuinely just floored by the massive crowd. And Benson Boone is, even though some of his songs and lyrics can be a little half-baked, he's an incredible performer. Just amazing. He did 8 backflips in 79 minutes, and he has really good voice, kind of Freddie Mercury-esque, not definitely on that level, but still quite good. But let's talk about the weekend, not just the weekend, let's talk about the whole festival. Talk about what was really good and not so good that we haven't talked about before. Catherine,
sure.
You're joining us for the videos for the first time this year. What was something that you loved that you reviewed?
Yeah, well, I really loved the Betty Who show at the Aurora Pavilion. That was the first Friday. she was just so full of energy, just full of positivity. She identifies as LGBTQ, so she's all about, self-acceptance and self-love, and she had these really hunky, backup dancers with her, and she just put on a really fun, energetic show. The crowd loved it. Her pop beats were great, and it was just a really good time. Great energy there.
That's awesome. No, Betty Who's always delivers it with her,
yeah,
with
she
her
really
sets.
did. Yeah, fans loved her.
That's fantastic. Ted, we were talking for things that you saw over the festival. This is the exact opposite of Betty Who's greatness.
Yeah.
What was the worst thing you saw at this festival? It sounded really rough.
It had to be Paul Young.
Okay.
The English crooner did not bring his A game.
Okay.
He played a 25-minute set, 4 songs, which ended on a thump of "Every Time I Go," "Every Time You Go," whatever.
Yeah.
He
wanted to go.
He went. Yeah, he went, and it was very disappointing. Fans waited 8 years to see him again here.
Yeah.
And they didn't get what they paid for at all.
Oh man! Even if they didn't pay for anything, they didn't.
Exactly.
They lost their time.
Exactly.
That's a shame. That's a real shame. What about Damon for you? Anything that was great or not so great from the festival you haven't talked about?
I didn't appreciate Chucky too much.
Okay.
Talented kid. His music on recorded music just doesn't translate well to stage.
Okay.
He's got this kind of horrorcore, kind of really slow, I don't know what you want to call it, kind of hip hop. He's on a great label. He's on Lil Durk's label, so he's going to get the push he needs to get where he needs to be. But stage-wise, his presence just smoking a blunt, standing there, talking to his friends. His music's going, and he's talking to his friends. And he'll stop once in a while to rap over his lyrics a little bit, and then kind of just walk to the other side. And it was very emotionless and slow and kind of boring. And I think if he just amps up his stage presence, he'll be a force. But right now, he's not there yet.
That's a shame. Well, let's talk about some good stuff, Cal. There was a band that we actually didn't review, but you said was really great. What's something else that you really liked? And go ahead and say something that was not so great from the whole festival.
Well, I suppose the most disappointing thing for me was probably Riley Green. I mean, there's such a great variety of country at Summerfest, and it's not really my usual thing anyway. And it's always great to be turned on to new things like Lainey Wilson, as we've talked about. I wouldn't have expected to like that. Riley Green is just very bland songwriting, just no stage presence. He had a 5-piece band, and you couldn't really tell. It might as well have been a karaoke machine playing behind him. It was just, there was no effort going into that presentation. I was really disappointed with the fact that Christian Yelich and a bunch of brewers came out and drank beers with him on stage and then played like crap the next day. But I'm just kidding. Yelich hit a home run the next day. Let's be real. But no, Riley Green, pretty disappointing for me.
But what was something that you really liked that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, one thing that I really loved that I'd never heard of before, that I didn't review, but came in completely blind, was the Cat Empire, this band out of Australia that kind of along the jazz funk lines. I mean, people sold them to me as a ska band, which there's elements of that, but it's just all over the map. I mean, they incorporate a lot of indigenous music as well sometimes, and a lot of funky. It was just really, it was a dance party, and it was all over the map, and it's great to find something that I'd never heard of before that was so energetic and so moving. So
that's awesome.
Fantastic.
That sounds good. Keep an eye out for the Cat Empire.
Yeah.
I think for me, probably the best set I think I saw for all of Summerfest probably had to be Megan Thee Stallion. She played June 28th at the Amphitheater. This was another great get for Summerfest. Megan Thee Stallion, her last show that she did was at Coachella in April. She has no other shows booked except for Summerfest. This is a one-off thing where she came in. And sometimes when that happens, artists may be kind of phoning it in. She was not phoning it in. She was determined to make it a hell of a show, to basically put a whole tour's worth of energy into one 75-minute set. She was in lockstep with her 8 dancers, and they were doing this really complicated choreography. She was rapping. They had backing vocals, but her voice was really pronounced. She didn't need those backing vocals. And she was just delivering withering one-liners and amazing punchlines with so much fire. And she was just doused in sweat, understandably, after 40 minutes, just completely coated in sweat. She also brought out, at that point, she brought out a dozen fans to come on stage that she picked out from the crowd to just kind of dance and pose for selfies and give them hugs. And then I was okay, that was a really nice thing to do. Then she did it again with 24 fans and brought 24 fans out on the stage to do that with her. And then she crushed it at the end with great hits like Body. It was just a really great show. I mean, I'm just so glad that Summerfest got together. And again, Summerfest is the only place this summer that anyone can see Megan Thee Stallion, and it happened here. And it really speaks to how great this festival is. Not only is there stuff that, there's something for everyone, and sometimes there's bad things like Paul Young, but then you also get one place only kind of shows with Megan Thee Stallion, and that really reinforces how strong this festival is. And thank you everyone for watching all of our coverage for 2025. If you go to jsonline.com/Summerfest, we have tons of reviews, tons of photos, and so much more. And thanks again for tuning in.